But college is not just for smart people. College is also for those who are willing to work hard and those who are willing to go against all odds. I know that we all have a story to share, all of us. But today, I would like to thank Student Support Services for allowing me to share my story. Please, I don't want to cry. I will share a retrospect about my life. At age 2, I fell from the top of a roof and I cracked my cranium. And the doctor told my parents that I was going to be mentally disabled, I was going to be a slow learner, and that I was going to have seizures. In 5th grade, I had a teacher who told me that I was good for nothing. And the reason for that is because I couldn't remember or memorize my multiplications. So he sent me to after-school program for disabled students. He also used to make fun of me in front of the class, and he's like, you know, when you get older, you're going to be singing Queremos Rock in the streets. Those are the comments that he used to say in front of the class about me. At age 14, I arrived to Greeley, Colorado without knowing any word of English. However, I learned quickly what went back and go back to your country meant. I had some students who used to make fun of me, and they used to throw snow, and they used to just say awful things. Some of them, which I am glad I don't remember, because I probably didn't even understand some of those other words that they said. However, I learned English, and I could have not done it without, or by myself. I had teachers who really care about my well-being. And I remember having to go to class, having to take the city bus, and it was a rainy day. So when I got to class, I was soaking wet. And all I remember is seeing my teacher getting out of her desk and saying, Azanet! And she just came over and she gave me a hug, and she even took me to the back of her office and she gave me a hot cocoa. Well, she didn't realize that that day I felt encouraged. And her act of kindness, or her act of kind, made a difference in my life. And I wanted to honor that teacher, and I know she couldn't make it, but her name is Miss Brazil, and she is now teaching at John Evans, and she is an amazing teacher. And learning English has not been easy at all. I'm still in the process of learning. Sometimes when I get really nervous, you can tell my accent, and but I remember wanting to order pizza. Oh, I want to order some pizza. So I called, and I said, pepperoni pizza. And they're like, oh, okay, carry out or delivery? And I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting to hear something else. So I'm like, yes. And I answered yes. And they're like, carry out or delivery? And I said, yes. I had no clue what they were asking until later I realized, oh, they want to know if they want to bring it to my home or if I'm going to go pick it up. Okay. Then, as I was learning English, I thought I knew what I was saying. And I was at church singing. I was just singing my heart out. And I was singing, I'll run away, oh glory, I'll run away. When all of a sudden I hear this lady right next to me chuckling and kind of smiling. I'm like, I wonder why she's doing that. Well, when I paid attention to the words on the screen, it said, I'll fly away. But I was singing, I'll run away. And yeah, that wasn't the thing for me to say. At age 18, I met who is now my husband of 15 years, Efren. He encouraged me to go to school. He said, why don't you go to school? And I'm like, well, because I'm working. He said, well, you can go to school and go to work. I said, you can do that? I said, yeah. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'll go talk to my parents. And I told my dad and my mom, I want to go to school. And they're like, oh, no. My dad had that mentality that I had to work in order to help the family. So I said, Dad, please let me go to school. He said, no, you can't. You have to work to help the family. So I said, come on, I'll do both. I'll go to school and go to work. He's like, the moment that you miss work because of school, you're getting out. I said, Dad, I'll do it. So I began to work and go to school. You know, I would like to honor some teachers who really made a difference in that time of my life. Would you please stand? All of you teachers from Trademark, Dwayne. Like all of them. my life that I don't share with everyone. And only a few people know, and they were part of it. But I won't go there. I remember at age 19, I got married to the most amazing man, and also I was the first one in my family of 8 to graduate from high school. Sadly, I was unable to attend school because I was undocumented. I remember talking with Scott, and he's like, hey, why don't you go and talk to the dean? And I said, yeah, I'm going to do that. I really had the desire, and I really wanted to go to school. I wanted to continue. So you didn't know Scott, but I did. I went and talked to the dean, but there was nothing that he could do for me at that time. So those dreams about going to school were over. In 2001, I became a U.S. resident and also a mom for the very first time. In 2002, I became a CNA, and in 2004, I became a mom for the second time. In 2007, I became a U.S. citizen. And in 2010, I enrolled at Ames Community College. And I remember before I enrolled at Ames, Dwayne, remember you saw me the 4th of July, and you talked to me, and I was so excited to share with you that I had become a U.S. citizen. And he's like, great, so are you going to college? And I told him, no. And he just turned around and he started talking with my girls. He's like, you know, your mom is really smart. She should be going to college. And I had already, I had the desire to go to college. And the reason for that is because as I was dressed to go to work, my little girl, Sarah, she saw me dressed and she's like, Mom, when I get older, I want to be a doctor. Mommy, are you a doctor? And I said, no, sweetie, I'm a CNA. At that moment, I realized that I needed to set a higher standard so she can become a doctor. And that's why I enrolled at Ames. Well, in this year, 2014, I will be the first one to graduate from college. And I want to leave you, all of you students, or anyone, this statement that my husband made as he was being interviewed by the Denver Post during my citizenship ceremony. You have all the possibilities to live out your dreams without fear. And I know that all of you graduates have all the possibilities to live out your dreams. Thank you so much.